Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and we're continuing to look at the Penderwicks At Last. Now, Chapter 10. Oh, but not the next wave. Well, in this chapter, Jane needs to be told that Mrs. Tifton is looking for her, or will come tomorrow morning. So Lydia and Alice, they don't want to go directly to Jane because this is some really bad news, and so Lydia doesn't want to say it immediately. She wants to kind of put it off and just enjoy some time. So she asked Lydia to take her a long way to get to where Jane is, and so they kind of act like spies, and they're sneaking around trying to avoid people and running and ducking and crawling and doing all this stuff. And finally, they make it to the greenhouse, which is like a big warehouse where there used to be really fancy and expensive plants. Not anymore because Miss Tifton left and no one cares anymore. But Lydia and Alice play in there for a while. Ben ends up coming and they take pictures and things like that. And then Ben says, "Hey, Jane has been looking for you. Come on, let's go." Well, they can't avoid it anymore. Alice and Lydia tell Jane the news. And at first, Jane thinks it's a joke, and Batty thinks it's a joke. But they both are like, no, Lydia says it, and Alice says, I was there, she's telling the truth. And then Jane starts to freak out. She's like, Miss Tifton's coming. We have to clean everything. We have to make everything perfect. So after they finish lunch, they clean the little room again. They're scrubbing, they're bringing in some furniture, they're making it look perfect so Mrs. Tifton doesn't have anything to complain about. After they finish cleaning, it's bedtime. So this is where Lydia, oh man, this is what she fears the most. She's in bed with Batty. And she's been having Batty sing these songs about courage. So Batty will, I don't know how many songs she's sung, like 5 or 10 songs. And Batty's fine, like, okay, one last song, and then we're going to bed. So she sings a song, Lydia's feeling good. And then Feldspar starts to knock on the door, right, to get out. So they think Ben is there. They open the door, Feldspar takes off. Batty has to go find Feldspar, and Lydia's just, oh, what if Feldspar went into the basement, and Jane and I have to go into the basement? What if he went to the attic, and then Batty, and I have to go into the attic? And so she's just thinking of all these terrible things that might be happening, and she's getting more scared and more scared. Until finally, Batty comes back with Feldspar. And it's okay. Right as Lydia's about ready to sleep, they hear... She sits up and wakes up, and it's Batty's ex-boyfriend. He sent a picture of his dog. So then the girls look at the picture, and Batty really wants to go to bed, but Lydia keeps asking questions about Mrs. Tifton and Destiny. And finally Batty says, Lydia, if you keep asking questions, I'm going to go sleep in another room. And immediately Lydia's like, good night. And Batty also says, good night. And that is the end of chapter 10. Well, just like the previous chapter, there's a lot of vocabulary words in this one that are a little difficult. Not as many, but still a few, for especially being such a short chapter. The first one is welter. And, yeah, sorry, I had forgot what it meant. We don't use this word very often, but it just kind of means like many, or a collection, unsorted collection of things. I think Lydia imagines the greenhouse having a welter of colors, just colors everywhere, different colors, beautiful different things just splashed around. It's not a word we use often, but it can just mean many and unorganized, kind of, or random or something. The next one is grumbling. Alice is pretending to be a rock, and she's grumbling about being the life of a rock. So grumbling is like kind of talking to yourself about tough things or bad things, or complaining, like kind of complaining to yourself. Oh, this food isn't very good. Why does my mom always make me eat this? Or something like that. But as a rock, maybe she's saying like, oh, my life is so hard. I'm a rock rolling in life. She's just saying something funny and, silly. The next one is goofing. And goofing means just being silly, playing silly, just having fun and not caring about your appearance. If you know Mickey Mouse, one of Mickey Mouse's really good friends, his name is Goofy. And his name is Goofy because he always does funny things, and he's not very coordinated. He can't control his body that well, and he's always causing an accident and getting hurt and being silly. The next one is furor. And this kind of means kind of like clamor or noise or uprising or argument or crowding. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you just imagine a lot of people and something exciting happens and they're like, "Crah!" Yeah, it could be furor. Or a crowd of people and something terrible happens and they're like, "Ah!" That can be furor. Now, this word has a German word that sounds very similar, Führer, and that means like leader or guide or something like that. And for the Nazi party, they would always, if you watch any movies, right, the Germans would say, my Führer, my leader, to Hitler, right? So they'd use the same word, or it's a different word, but it sounds very, very similar, right? In German, it means leader. In English, it just kind of means this energy or expression that a lot of people have. So when Lydia decides that she has to go tell Jane the news, she's going to go share this news, and then everyone is going to react to it with a lot of energy. What? Oh, Mrs. Tefton. And she's just going to have to endure that. She's been avoiding it, but now it's time to just get into it. Well, discussion question. Have you ever seen or heard a ghost? Okay. Now think about it, right? Lydia's in this big, dark mansion, and she's just sitting there, imagining this. Maybe if you haven't seen or heard a ghost, was there ever a time that you were really afraid of something scary? Maybe you just watched a scary movie or something, and you're in bed, and you just, oh man, and you're just thinking of those movie scenes. Tell us the story about it. Right? If you've seen a ghost or heard a ghost, tell us that. Or if there was just a time that you were really scared at night before bed, you can just share that with us too. And as usual, for the last question, I would like you to write your own question. Okay, there's many different things you could question in this story. Maybe you just have a question about the story. But please write the question in the comment so that way other students can look at it, and then we can talk about it together. Well, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Book Club Preview. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.